The story began by showing the airport, where an artist named Clay was trying to call his family, but his phone's battery was low, so he started calling his wife on the public telephone. But suddenly all the people at the airport started screaming terribly. These were all the people who were listening to the phone, and their phones were still on their ears. A dangerous kind of voice was piercing their ears. And now as soon as they see their condition get so bad, that fizz begins out from their mouth. And now all these people become zombies. They have lost their control, and they attack the remaining people. They start beating everyone, and in this way, the whole airport is in chaos. The people who had become zombies by getting sick, they had gone so crazy that they were beating people badly. Someone was throwing someone down, someone was hitting someone down. Seeing all these situations, the girl who had called the police also becomes a zombie. Clay sees that the owner of the hotel, who's become a zombie, is coming towards me by hitting everyone with his knife. And now as soon as the cook comes close to Clay and tries to attack him with a knife, then he puts his bag forward and saves his life. In the meantime, the guards came here, who had guns, and they started shooting all the zombies and killing them. Now Clay realized that the people who had called, they had become zombies, so he stopped all the guards and people from listening to the phone or calling anyone. Now 2 planes outside the airport collided violently with each other, causing it to be destroyed, and there was an explosion. And now both the planes burn and enter the airport. In this accident, all the people were killed, while Clay, who had already seen everything, ran away from there and saved his life in this way. But there was a zombie behind him, who attacked him, and as soon as he escaped, he came out where a train comes and stops. 2 people came out of the train, who saved Clay from that zombie and took him inside the train. There were some other people inside who were absolutely safe. It means none of them had become a zombie, so Clay also alerts them. He also forbids them from listening to the phone. Then a train driver came here, whose name was Tom. He tells that all these trains have stopped, so now we have to walk on foot and cross all the tunnels. But because all the people were very scared, they did not go. Only Clay, Tom, and a boy go ahead with them. These people now start moving forward on the way to the tunnel. At a distance, they saw the light, where some people were standing. Now before they reach them, a zombie comes out and attacks them. He attacked the boy with an axe, from which he was killed there. Now, hearing this voice, the people who were standing in front started running towards them. We understood that he was not a normal person, but a zombie. Now there was a crowd of zombies here. So Clay and Tom start going up the stairs to save their lives. Now a zombie also started following them, and quickly he also starts coming up. Eyes shot, but Clay and Tom quickly come out and close the lid, and now they are on the road. Then they reached Clay's building, whose entire door was broken, while the corpses of the neighbors were lying on the ground who had blood all over. After coming to Clay's house, Tom sees that he has made strange paintings on the walls, because it is obvious that he is an artist. Clay sees that the phone in my house is broken, so he takes Tom's mobile and messages his wife. He also refuses her to listen to the phone, but the reply that was received was quite big, which they do not understand. After messaging, Tom tells him to put the phone in the freezer so that its battery does not get low quickly. In the evening, when the 2 were sitting comfortably, the door was knocked. Now Clay went and opened the door very comfortably. He sees that my neighbor girl is there, whose condition was bad. She was covered with blood, but she was not a zombie. She was holding a knife in her hand. She was very scared. She was looking worried, so Clay puts her inside the house. Now the girl started telling in fear. She was also crying. She says that my mother had also become a zombie, so I had to kill my mother with my own hands. Clay tells him to go and take a bath. He gives her his wife's clean clothes to wear. After a while, Clay decides that I will go out to find my family. Because when all the commotion started, before that, Clay's conversation with his wife was normal. So that's why Clay feels that he may not have become a zombie yet. His wife and son are alive. So Tom and that girl also agree to go with him. Because the 3 were very tired, they needed rest. As soon as night falls, they go to sleep. The next morning, they saw that there were hundreds of zombies roaming the streets like ants. They took up arms and came out of the building, and they saw that a large group of zombies was roaming in one place. When they sat on the bike, 2 boys passed by. Hearing the sound, the zombies' attention went towards them, so they started running after them. Because the road was empty, they took the opportunity to escape from there. As they walked, they reached the house. Seeing the note, they hoped that they could get weapons here. Now they went inside the house very carefully. The girl was at the forefront. As soon as she went into the basement, she was very scared to see that there were only corpses scattered there, which had been badly severed. There is blood everywhere here. But still, they went ahead while taking care of them. They find a lot of weapons and guns. They collect guns and weapons as much as they can, and go out of there. As soon as they got out of the house, they saw that a boy was sitting on a swing with a dog. As soon as they started moving towards him, the boy felt their movement. He moved ahead and started shouting at them. He had blood on his face. He was holding an axe in his hand. That means he was not an ordinary person, but a zombie. As soon as he saw him, Tom shot him. But then many more zombies came out of the jungle. Then the three of them shot each other. After killing many zombies, they ran towards the jungle. They quickly ran and came to a lake. They immediately went and hid in the boat. Now, as soon as all the zombies came to the lake, the sun was setting. Seeing this, all the zombies stood completely static. That means they were not doing anything, but they were making dangerous, loud noises. After a while, they quietly left from there. Seeing this, Clay and the two of them realized that after the sun sets, these zombies themselves become static and do nothing all night. Now they go across the river and get off. Here Tom asks them that how do these zombies know our location every time? That means wherever we go after a zombie comes, a lot of zombies come there. Then Clay tells that when that boy saw us outside the house, he was sitting in the swing, then that zombie sent a signal to the brains of the other zombies about our location. That means where are we right now? Then as soon as they took the signal, all the zombies came to us, which clearly meant that all the zombies were connected to each other. After that, Clay, Tom, and that neighbor girl left again. They kept walking all day. Scenes, when it was night, they heard the sound of music in one place. They followed it and reached an academy, where a student and the principal of the academy were hiding. Both Clay and Tom tell the girl that until this music is playing, there is no danger. After that, they brought the three of them to the ground. They saw that there were thousands of zombies sleeping on the ground, and the sound of this music was coming from their phones and mouths. At this time, the principal cut a zombie's leg with an axe, but he did not say anything, because they were sleeping happily. They were so much in music that they could not feel anything around them. After that, the principal took them inside and told them that these zombies should never know that it is not necessary for us to sleep, and they should wake up, because if they wake up, they will wreak havoc, and no one will be able to stop the end of the world. Then he says that before all the zombies wake up, we will have to kill all the zombies first. And now the principal and the student together tell their plan, that we have thought that we will sprinkle petrol in that field and set it on fire, which will burn the fire and kill all the zombies. After that, Clay and Tom sit in a truck and take a lot of petrol and go to the field filled with zombies. They sprinkled petrol on all the zombies. After that, the principal sprinkles the burning oil in the field. As soon as there was a fire, it spread as soon as it was seen, and as soon as it was wrapped, a lot of zombies started dying. There was a big, powerful fire there, but some zombies somehow escaped the fire and started getting up. Seeing them, Clay and his companions started shooting at the zombies. Now, as the fire suddenly increased, the fire reached their truck. There was a big blast here, which killed the poor principal. After seeing his principal dying, the student felt very bad. He was sad. He was deeply shocked. Then Clay gives him support as soon as possible. Now they left that academy and walked for a long time. After wandering here and there, they finally find an empty theater. Since these places seemed to be safe from all dangers, they decided to hide here. Because they were very tired, everyone went to sleep soon. But Clay suddenly started hearing some sounds from the bathroom. When he went to check in the bathroom, there was a boy there, who was a zombie, but he was the most dangerous zombie because his face was very distorted. He didn't look less than a demon because he was the head of the zombies. He was the first zombie. He started laughing at Clay. He goes towards him to attack him. Clay was also scared. He takes out his gun to shoot him. Before that, he was shooting. His eyes opened, which made us understand that it was just a bad dream of Clay. But when he talked to his friends, he found out that all of them had seen the same dream. This was a very strange thing that puts everyone in shock. Now they found out that the head zombie is actually a villain of Clay's made-up joke story. There, when they came out, they saw that thousands of phones had been collected and set on fire. There was a pile of phones there. Now Tom and the neighbor girl's phone also started ringing. So instead of listening to the phone, they also threw their phones in this pile and set it on fire. Now when they walked a little further, they were shown a bar on which it was written Tashwake no foe. Now they couldn't understand this language, so they started thinking that this means that they are not allowed to bring phones inside. And because they didn't have phones before, so they go inside. Now they found out that there were also many people here who were saved from becoming zombies. And now their plan was to go to a place called Kashwak, because not even one of the phone signals come there. Obviously there are no signals there, so it means that no one uses phones here. From this, it is clear that there is hope of having no zombies there. Now Tom asks Clay, what happened to the joke story you wrote? But Clay has no answer to this question, because he had not written the whole story yet. Then after a while, all of them go to sleep, because it was night. Then a woman hears a voice from which she wakes up. When she goes to check, she sees that the door is closed. from which a voice is coming from that side. So she puts her ear and hears the voice. Now Clay also wakes up, who also starts going to that woman. But then suddenly some people woke up and caught him because they had attacked Clay. Now that woman also started moving towards Clay because I don't know how some of them had become zombies. Howdy. Now because of the noise, there was chaos in the bar. The survivors started killing the zombies. Clay shot a bullet and killed a zombie, and that's how he survived. Well, Tom also kills a lot of zombies. Now that woman was screaming in a terrible way in a man's ear and making him a zombie, so that here we could understand that if a person hears the voice of a zombie closely, then he also becomes a zombie. And now all the zombies there are out of control. The survivors were attacked badly, but Tom and the neighbor girl took their guns. They shot all the zombies, and that's how the survivors were saved from the zombies. But that woman was still alive. Then the neighbor girl attacks her with a rod. She also died. She also lost her life. But then these people see that due to the attack of the zombies, the neighbor girl's condition has worsened. She was so injured that her condition was about to die. So now these people pick her up and bring her out in the sun, where she takes her last breath and dies in their lap. Now after burying her, these three, that is Clay, Tom, and that student, move on to their new journey. But they were unaware of the fact that the dangerous zombie, that is, the head zombie, was keeping an eye on them. After walking a little distance, they were shown a camp where there were two people, a truck driver and an officer. Now they both tell them that we have come back from Kashwak. But there is a bad news. A phone tower has been set up there last year, which means there is no point in going there. That place is also not safe. Because of the phones, there are a lot of zombies there. Now they know that the truck driver and the officer also had that dream of the head zombie. So that's why they calculated that if we kill the head zombie, then all the zombies will die on their own. Then they see that they have tied a zombie there. The officer says that he was my brother. Because he has become a zombie, I tied him like this instead of killing him, because there is a reason behind it. As soon as the zombies start coming to us, he starts screaming loudly. He gives a kind of signal, which tells us about the arrival of the zombies, and we start preparing to deal with the zombies. Then suddenly that zombie started saying in the voice of Clay's son, "Papa, when will you come home?" Seeing this, Clay was quite surprised. When he goes near him and removes his clothes, he says, "Hi Papa, how are you?" As soon as he sees him, Tom immediately shoots him and kills him, so that he can't transfer their location to the rest of the zombies. After which they left from there by sitting in the truck of the truck driver. But after going a little far, the driver stopped the truck. He got off and started going towards the jungle. Clay also follows him. The driver told him that I can see that head zombie everywhere. I got crazy for him, so I am tired of my life like this. Now because he did not want to live such a life, he decides to die. But here he gives Clay a phone and a piece of paper and says, when the right time comes, call on the number written on the piece of paper. And now suddenly a bomb exploded there, in which the truck driver's life is lost and Clay falls far away. He then comes back in the truck and sits down. And now the rest of the people started moving forward again. Soon Clay's house reaches. When they went inside, there was no one at home. But his son had written on the fridge that my mom has become a zombie. That's why I'm going to Kashwak. Knowing all this, Clay got angry, and he starts throwing things here and there. But as soon as he went to the storeroom, suddenly a head zombie came out and attacked him. He was very dangerous and powerful, although Clay also tries to face him. But in front of his powers, Clay was nothing. But at the right time, Tom came here and saved Clay's life. He catches the head zombie and throws him behind. But soon the head zombie catches Tom. Race action. Before that, he takes his life or Clay helps him. He takes a stick and hits his head many times. As soon as the head zombie fell behind, Tom also shot him on his head and took his life. But as soon as he removed the cloth from the zombie's face, he found out that he was not a head zombie, but Clay's wife, which gave Clay a deep shock. He was also very sad. Now they had no other way. That's why Clay picks up the phone that the truck driver had given him. He decides to call the number written on the piece of paper. Tom goes to the truck and sees that the whole truck is filled with bombs, with which they guessed that all these bombs will explode from the number written on the paper. Now, because Clay's son was in Kashwak, he decides to go there alone. He wanted to find his son at any cost. He gives them the keys to his wife's car. Tom tells the officer and the student that you guys go to Canada by car. Then he gave the student a spray paint so that he could write his name on the way with this paint spray. After seeing this, Clay will be able to reach him. And now Clay met the three of them and said goodbye to them and sat in the truck alone and goes to Kashwak. As soon as he reaches Kashwak, he sees the phone tower that was built here last year. Clay sees thousands of zombies circling around the tower. Sitting in the truck, Clay, he went out of the middle of the zombies and moved forward, and now he finally reaches the head zombie. Then he hits the truck hard in the head zombie, which makes him fall far away. Now, after getting off the truck, he shoots the head zombie with many bullets. Now, in the crowd of zombies, he heard his son's voice. So he goes into that crowd like crazy without thinking. He started looking for his son, but it seemed impossible for him to find his son in so many zombies. Tired, he falls at one place. Then he takes out the driver's phone, because as soon as he presses the button, all the bombs will explode. And now he was ready to blow up here. But now all of a sudden, his son comes in front of Clay. Seeing him, Clay becomes very happy. He hugs him. But now all those zombies start screaming in a very dangerous way. They started making a terrible noise, and now that Clay's son is also included in everyone, Clay starts